My lovelies, a pleasant Sunday afternoon to you. If you have not yet made Jesus Christ your personal Lord and Savior, please feel free to do so. He's the best being ever. Do it now, and that would be the best decision you could ever make. All right. I'm seeing something here in the Sunday Gleaner. Some naked and hidden truths about university rankings. I've been noticing that they've been ranking University of the West Indies in some high position, but I haven't gotten the opportunity from that time to read the article. I don't even know where to find it. So let's read this. All right, it says in recent months, there have been conversations and public commentaries on the nature, purpose, meaning, and trustworthiness of university rankings. The fact that there are these expressions of interests and voicing of questions is, in and of itself, a good thing. Parents, prospective and registered pupils, policymakers, philanthropists, and the general public all have vested interest in a university's ranking, even when they may not express those interests in the word ranking, which is true. In a June 30 Gleaner article, the illusion of excellence, Philip Patterson highlights some concerns about university rankings. The core of his argument is that rankings do not measure indicators. They ought to measure such as the analytical competencies of graduates and their depth of mathematical and scientific understanding. Why am I have to choose mathematical and scientific? Other social science and blah 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 blah. Like really? Ah, I'm just troubling. But he contends, therefore, that as a result of the fact that these variables are not measured, a university may enjoy impressive international reputation while weaknesses quietly emerge within its educational foundations. It's like what that guy John Woolen had said. Reputation is what people perceive you to be, but character is who you really are. So it could be likened unto what he's positing. Let's continue. The timing of Patterson's piece is curious, coming 2 weeks after the latest rankings report by the Times Higher Education Organization. This latest the report shows that the UWI, which previously ranked in the top 4%, is now ranked among the top 3.6% of the best universities in the world. I feel good reading it, maybe because I've been there twice and back there now, so I'm back there now, so I'm gonna feel good. All right, but let me hear what he's saying. The UWI first entered the ranking arena in 2018 and on debut landed in the top 5%, which is its strategic objective. Over the 8-year period, the UWI has moved up and down, but always within the top 5%. Its current 3.6% overall ranking is the best it has achieved. While Patterson raises some fair questions, I wonder if the objective of this article is a critique of the achievement of the UWI. Being in the top 3.6% is an unquestionably significant, especially competing with the best universities in the world and doing exceptionally well. Broader context is the subheading. There are about 37,000 recognized universities globally. This number does not include colleges, institutes, and polytechnics. Polytechnics. In order to be ranked, university must meet qualifying threshold. The University of the West Indies, UWI, is the only Caribbean university that has qualified to enter the global rankings arena. Under these, as in capital THE, criteria, apostrophe S, criteria is a plural, criterion is a singular. Only about 2,000 universities quality to be ranked. Or quality? What about 2,000? Okay, quality. Does not qualify. All right, let's go on. I'm thinking qualify. The approximate 2,191 in 2025 ranking is about 5% of the global population of universities. In other words, only about 5% of universities qualify, to be ranked. I'm saying quality has to be qualified to be ranked. And these as in THE capital comp apostrophe S ranking reaches universities in about 115 countries. A quick Google search will reveal that university ranking dates back about a century, having begun in the early 1900s. In this early period, the ranking was designed to compare the pedigree of universities and was domestic in focus. The process was largely subjective, and the criteria were not developed consultatively and tested empirically. This problem of subjectivity was addressed in later rankings efforts beginning in the 1960s when scientific assessments were used. In the 1980s, US News and World Report entered the fray when in 1983 it issued its first annual ranking publication, America's Best Colleges. The criteria focused on variables such as student to faculty ratios, proportion to full-time staff, graduation rates, and faculty salaries, etc. In the last 20 years, have seen the introduction of global rankings with ranking agencies such as the Academic Ranking of World Universities, ARW, the Quacquarelli Simmons QS, and Times Higher Education the, which is a the that I've been saying. These are regarded as a top three globally. Each ranking organization uses different metrics, clearly, but there must be some similarities though. Times Higher Education, they uses the widest set of indicators. The methodologies used by these organizations having differences are recognized as rigorous. Notwithstanding the rigor in these methodologies, they contain biases that work against small universities and universities in developing contexts that have less influence in policy making, less access to larger research grants, and few international partnerships. The UWI ranks highly, therefore, despite the odds and the disadvantages it faces is commendable. Its achievements augur well for the Caribbean region. Is there a need to review ranking criteria? Question is asked. Times Higher Education, that is the ranking indicators, fall into 5 categories, namely research quality, which covers citation impact, research excellence, and influence; teaching and learning environment, which includes teaching reputation, doctorates awarded, staff to student ratio; research environment, which includes reputation, income, and productivity; international outlook, which includes proportion of international staff and students as well as international co-authorships; industry, which covers industry income and patents. All universities that participate in the Times Higher Education rankings are measured using the same yardstick. While Patterson is right, therefore, that ranking indicators do not include undergraduate students' analytical competencies and their depth of mathematical and scientific understanding, it must be emphasized that this critique, to the degree applicable, is not unique to the UWI, all his criticisms of making as are all his criticisms of ranking results, and which I was saying to you, it was very skewed to, and very much skewed to just mathematical and scientific, which there are other ways of proving reality, truth, and getting the right methodology. The global ranking criteria have other weaknesses as they do not take account of various socioeconomic factors, that is true, that are peculiar to universities in developing countries, and in that regard could be regarded as being overly biased and not sufficiently particularized or inclusive. But the playing field is what it is, and the universities that make it compete on the same level. There is no affirmative action or special case quota system. It is a case that the Caribbean region has a post-colonial problem with competency in mathematics and science. The problem has several dimensions. In the first place, many of our best mathematicians and scientists migrate to better paying jobs and opportunities outside of the region, which is true. Guys, you know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of those lands. Follow me on Instagram, and you can continue reading the article.